Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, EreV23, Egg, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Pathfinder Through the Ashes. As today we tie up our last few loose ends here in the graveyard and progress to what I believe is the final major area of the DLC. I have been told that it's about 4, maybe 5 areas long. I'm just not sure how many areas the graveyard counted as. But we should be getting into the home stretch here. That said, before we get into anything, I believe we had a book to read. A suspicious tome found on the floor of a wizard's tomb. The Legend of Magic Bones. Religious Beliefs of the Giants of Old Sarkis. I have no idea how this actually ties into anything that's currently going on, but let's find out. All the mages who ever lived acquired their arcane ability via the same means, by spending years poring over books and toiling in laboratories, studying the mysteries of creation alone or with the help of diligent mentors. On the other hand, the origins of sorcerers' powers are beyond counting, from inheriting it from an extraplanar progenitor to acquiring it from a conjunction of celestial bodies. There is but one trait that they have in common. All sorcerers wield power that is utterly undeserved, not having stirred a finger to obtain the arcane might they possess. Of course, they take great pride in their ability, fancying it as a gift from a higher power, perhaps even a sign of being some kind of chosen one. Such an attitude is especially prevalent among the barbaric cultures. Take giants, for example. Despite the massive weight of their colossal brains, these creatures despise learnedness, and only respect innate magic, relying on superstitions to explain its origins. My attention was drawn to one of the legends as told by the Frost Giants of Old Sarkis, the ancient belief in magic bones. It is impossible to recall it in detail because after the demonic invasion, the Frost Giant tribes were either exterminated or driven away by the Ash Giants. But one can still find the ruins of their temples and domiciles inside the Worldwound. Judging by the remaining statues and bas-reliefs, these tribes believed a certain divine entity had been murdered or sacrificed. Its bones entered the mortal giants, granting them power over ice and cold. According to legend, the bone exits the body of its former owner upon death and seeks a new host, transforming them into a sorcerer. Spellcasters assumed to be bearers of these bones often rose to prominence as chiefs, sometimes uniting a few families into larger clans for more effective raiding. Interesting. So obviously this is supposed to be vaguely tied into, I guess, Sindri's powers. His spectacular ice powers, as clearly demonstrated by his massive success last time around. Though I'm not sure how relevant what we just read might be. Especially if this specific origin for sorcerer's powers is tied into giants, because then, why would Sindri have them? He's like the opposite of a giant. Could explain that tall tale he had, though, about exploring the frozen north and fighting ice worms and maybe losing his eye, because I would not be surprised if he actually still has his eye under that patch. But I guess we'll push on, see what else comes of this strange tale we have discovered, and of Sindri's somewhat mysterious and very effective abilities. Let's summon the survivors. Hey guys, good to see you again. Everyone still alive? Fantastic. Well, first things first. Let's have words with the Broadster. sir? Brody, I found the scroll. Don't worry, we'll save you. Warm light envelops Brody. He cries out in surprise, then clutches his abdomen. Blessed Iomade! I could eat a whole cow! Forget the cow, even my mother-in-law's infernal seaweed pie will do. He grabs your hand and grips it tightly, on the verge of tears. Thank you, sir. I won't forget your kindness. Huzzah! Mission complete. Let's see if he's got anything else for us. Ah, it's you. Brody gives you a big smile, baring his yellow teeth. Thank you again for saving me from certain death. What can I do for you, sir? Just checking in with you, Brody. I'm all right, I think. I suppose my liver's acting up, but that's old news. He looks healthy enough. Fantastic. Okay, so we no longer have to worry about preserving his health. Unless, of course, we get him injured again. But we'll try to avoid that. And we never did find an Eye's hospital, did we? Which either implies we completely overlooked something on this map, or that it's actually on the next map. Deeper into the city, perhaps. Yeah, I guess we'll just push on for now. I'm pretty sure we've done a full clean sweep of this area. And we've got backup saves to fall back on if I really did miss something huge like that, but for now we'll move on. Uh-oh. The World Wound awakens. What are those? Abracandaloo? No, those are something different. I mean, obviously they're covered in frost, too. Tied to Sentry, no doubt. Overcoming one obstacle after another, the group of desperate survivors made their way through bleeding Canabris. Sometimes Record or Sentry would notice a twisted, lopsided figure following at their heels. When light fell on the creature, it looked like a demon of ice and hoarfrost. It quickly vanished as if it had never been there. The light soon began to dim as smoke filled the air. The road took them straight into the burning ruins of a quarter the vile demons had set ablaze. Hot, crackling air enveloped them. Fearing the dancing flames, the frost creature fled, but Sentry and Record kept looking out for it, not daring to pay attention to anything else. The group was surrounded by burning mansions and humbler homes with doors yawning open. The roar of the flame rose to a deafening crescendo, pierced by a desperate scream. Someone was trapped amidst the flame and was begging for help. After observing the burning ruins, the group decided to... Well, I mean, obviously the first thing we should do is find a way to protect ourselves from this fire. Oh, shoot. You know, I would say Freda would be the best person to handle safety. But she is severely ill, and a single misstep will kill her, so... how about it, Broadster? You're in pretty good shape. You have any idea how to fight fires? How about you, Bamir? Yeah, let's try Bamir. He is a miller, and flour is highly flammable. Bamir tore his huge shirt into strips of cloth, and used them to make masks for his companions. Dampening the fabric with water from their flasks, the survivors were able to protect their lungs from the acrid smoke. Fantastic. Nicely done, Bamir. After observing the burning ruins, the group decided to... help the poor souls trapped in the flames. The rescue is mounted. Oh, shoot. Langrat? Langrat is good at calming people down, but Anai is a healer. If there are people who are injured, Anai would be the better choice. Anai rushed into the flames as if she had been waiting for this. She advanced, not caring for the stinging bites of the fire. The healer scorned the pain and danger, as if she had no other choice but to rescue the unfortunate people in distress. When she found the locked door where the voices had been coming from, she used a stone to knock off the latch, and rescued a weeping woman and 2 little girls from inside. When she returned to the group, she looked at her 3 charges with quiet satisfaction, as if not noticing the burns covering her skin. They soon became inflamed. An infection had entered her body through the wounds, and Anai started succumbing to fever. The survivors of the fire thanked the group, and vanished amongst the ruins. The miraculous rescue of the poor family seemed to have granted new strength and purpose to the escapees. It was a sign that they could change something and save someone, no matter how desperate the situation. The darkness of despair fled their hearts under the assault of scalding flames. Okay, a bit of a mixed bag on that one. I did forget that Anai might have some baggage when it comes to people being trapped in fire. Alright, let's try our luck with salvaging. Hey, but look at that. Freda is now unwell instead of severely ill. So rescuing that family did have some positive effect. The only downside now is that we've got 2 people who are ill, which will be a greater strain on resources. Alright, Broadster, you're up. Let's see what your grave-robbing instincts can dig up for us. The gravedigger shrugged and disappeared into the smoke. He soon returned with a bag full of tools and a massive pickaxe on his shoulder. According to him, he just went to his own home, because his conscience would not let him steal from his neighbors. Hey, you know what? I can respect that, and we can certainly use tools. Nice job, Brody. And with all that done, thanks to the precautions they had taken, the group managed to traverse the ruins without succumbing to the agonizing heat and choking smoke. The fire was left behind, and the escapees entered what had once been one of the city's quarters, but was now reduced to a mess of rubble and timber. Demon Lord Discari's scythe had split the ground wide open, bringing down buildings in some places and destabilizing the pavement in others. A single misstep could send a careless traveler tumbling to their death. There were demons here. As the party advanced, they found corpses of crusaders who had fought to hold the line here until their final breath. The sounds of slaughter were getting close, punctuated by screams and bloody squelches. Terror and the icy chill of the grave seemed to radiate from the open doorway of a nearby cellar. The way forward was uncertain. The way back was barred with rising flames. Langrat lifted a violin from his pack tenderly, as if caressing his beloved, and sat on the stones. He meekly asked if anyone would like him to play something. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why we wouldn't. Raising morale and keeping us going is kind of his thing. Music flowed from under Langrat's bow. It was an ode to the rose of the borderland. The profound melody rang with sadness for the dead world. It lamented the friends who were gone. But it also spoke of hope and resilience, courage in the face of danger, and a stubborn passion for life. While he played, the survivors seemed to stand a little straighter, and their eyes lit with defiance. This was not the end. Not just yet. And I sat down on a ruined wall to have a short rest, and shot a venomous look at her companions. "Dead men walking, that's who we are," she blurted out. And there was something chilling in her words. Something sincere, incontrovertible. Nobody dared to object. Her words were echoed in every survivor's heart. Well, crud. Right, okay. So I'm guessing we would have actually gained some sort of benefit from Langrat's music, except it was essentially canceled out by Anai's dour attitude, her pessimism. Likely because we got her injured in that last event. That is unfortunate. But we push on. We'll scout the ruins. Brody is suggesting he could go with his pickaxe, but that feels like a terrible idea for a bunch of crumbling ruins. However, tethering the volunteer with the rope made exploring the unstable ruins much safer. Still not crazy about using that pickaxe, though. After Bamir disappeared into the ruins, he carefully picked his way through the wreckage, using paths nobody else knew. The narrow streets, dirty lanes, the dark alleys that decent people would go out of their way to avoid. The ease with which the miller found his way through these not-so-respectable nooks and crannies was enough to give everybody pause. Guys, I am starting to suspect that Bamir might not actually be a miller. Oh, yeah, see, and if we had chosen Brody to carve his way through the ruins, possibly triggering some sort of collapse or disaster, we would not have been able to use him to do this burial. And given that he's a gravedigger, this is like the perfect task for him. He literally provided the tools that we're using for it. Brody dug a deep grave and carefully lowered the bodies of the fallen warriors into it. After closely studying the talismans and the holy symbols on their necks, he smoothly uttered a quick prayer to each of the gods venerated by the dead. It was a brief yet dignified ceremony for warriors who had perished defending their home. One that would not go unnoticed by the gods. Fantastic. I have no idea what that did, but I'm not sure about the cellar, but you know what? Let's at least give it a peek. An icy wind blew from the open cellar, and one could almost hear voices within each susurration. Something terrible had happened in this place, and it did not take the escapees long to figure out what. Somebody had erected an altar inside the cellar, a 5-pointed star of cold stone stained with dried blood and decorated with black candles. The shrine belonged to the cultists of Baphomet, the despicable Templars of the Ivory Labyrinth. When did they build it? How long had this fane been here, right under the Crusaders' not-so-watchful eyes? Somebody had to go into the cellar, and the survivors decided to send... Oh, yeah. See, now the problem is that we only have 2 people left, and both of them are ill. Though only at Tier 1, so in theory, even if they got injured, they'd only be at Tier 2 out of 3, which would be manageable. The healer sniffed the air and resolutely refused to go down into the basement. "It reeks of bad death. I'm not going there, and you shouldn't either," she said. And I could not explain what frightened her so badly, but all of her senses warned her of the danger. But somebody had to go, and it was... Oh man, this is starting to feel like a bad idea, but, I mean, in theory, as a dwarf, Freda would be resistant to magic and poisons and disease. And this is technically a subterranean location. Plus, her blindness would theoretically protect her against any visual effects. The dwarf woman whispered a prayer to Abadar and went down into the cellar. After feeling her way to the altar, she began to remove the bloody remains and the cultists' unholy relics. Suddenly, a shrill cry pierced the air, and Freda tossed aside the unholy symbol of Baphomet she had picked up moments before. A deathly pallor rapidly spread across her palm. The relic must have been protected by powerful sorcery. Hissing furiously, Freda leaned against the stone altar and overturned it with one powerful push. The stone star shattered against the floor, and she deftly gathered up the cultist talismans and walked outside. Oh, well, I mean, we got some trinkets, but there is nothing there that I think was worth hurting her further. Let's set up camp, see if we can shore up our health. But it was a mistake. As soon as the group made camp in the ruins they thought to be so very safe and secure, a loud rumbling was heard, and the whole building began to collapse in on itself. A yawning chasm opened under their feet, eager to devour the careless travelers. It was a miracle nobody slipped and plunged to their death. Clutching onto the rocks for dear life, the survivors hung suspended over the chasm. And making their way back up cost them tremendous effort. Bruised palms, bleeding fingers, and no small amount of terror. When they got out, the survivors collapsed to the ground. Death had not claimed them this time. Well then, this did not go at all to plan. I guess we will just move on, grateful we're still alive. Having discovered a safe route, the survivors moved through the ruins with confidence, avoiding treacherous stones underfoot and unsound walls looming overhead. These precautions helped them avoid many of the quarter's perils. At last, the perilous quarter where every step had threatened the escapees with death was left behind. There were human voices ahead, quiet and wary, which meant they did not belong to the vile cultists. Had their difficult journey, at last, come to an end? I mean, given our luck so far, I'm going to say probably not. Especially since we just ran across a bunch of bandits. Side note, though, I will say, the fact that the building we tried to camp in collapsed really makes me feel better about not using that pickaxe. Welcome to the rich quarter. Not too long ago, the guards here would have given riffraff like you and me the boot. With a grim chuckle, Record looks at the destruction all around you. Now they've got bigger problems. We can stroll down the boulevards, do some window shopping, have some coffee, pretend we're the cream of the crop. We should be getting very close to the town hall now. I absolutely must deliver my report. My hospital, it's right around the corner. Don't dawdle. Go and see if everyone's in one piece. Okay, so the hospital was in the next area. Hey, Lemire leans over to you in confidence and continues in a low voice. I've heard there's an Inquisitor's post around here somewhere. I don't rightly want to meet them. It's not like I'm guilty of anything, it's just... they're scary people. They start interrogating you, one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden they're stringing you up over a bonfire. If they show up, could you hide me from them, please? I'd be much obliged. I imagine this has nothing to do with how strangely proficient you happen to be in stealth and trickery, right? So, what do we know about this place? It used to be so very pretty in here, and fun too. Ladies with their gallant escorts, all kinds of shops, music, la-da-da-da-da, dee-dee-da. I mean, not so much anymore. Thank you, Sentry. Yep, we're playing a different sort of music here now. Can you hear it? The screams, the racket, the ringing. We're heading right into the thick of the street fighting. If we're lucky, we'll meet friends. If we're not, we'll be between a rock and a hard place. And where do we go from here? Normally I could find my way through here blindfolded, but now we'll have to improvise. The key is to keep our eyes peeled, stay away from demons, and avoid getting mixed up in fights if we can help it. This district is chock full of walls and watchtowers and such. I've always wanted to see what's inside them. And I swear on my broken glasses and the monocle I'm going to get someday to replace them that now is the best time to take a peek. Yes, Sentry, thank you. That does seem like a fantastic idea. You're just full of them. All right, let's move. Come on, there has to be a way out somewhere. And if there isn't, we'll make one ourselves. In all due fairness to Sentry, we are almost certainly going to try to... Gosh darn it, and I I swear one of the most dangerous things we've encountered is our supposed healer, who has done no actual healing and has instead saddled us with a long-term debuff. Oh, hi there. Don't mind us. We're just going to stand over here. Actually, we should talk to our friends. What a mess. What are you standing there for? Find my hospital and see if my brothers and sisters are alive. I won't get far with my sprained ankle. I'll stay here and wait for the news. Yes, I'm working on it. How are you doing? Awful. My damnable leg is killing me. Judging by her paleness and the feverish glint in her eyes, she's suffering from more than just leg pain. What can you tell me about this place? Sure, let's chat. After all, the burning houses are so pretty, and the cries of survivors are like music to the ears. An eye tugs at a strand of her graying hair in annoyance. Fine, as long as it makes you leave quicker. I don't know much. Me and my brothers and sisters came to Canabris a couple of months back, and joined a local hospital straight away. This is the rich district, so only well-respected people and good townsfolk could come to us. They paid and treated us well. They would talk mostly about silk prices and the city's efforts to track down cultists. No one really believed in the latter's existence. As you can see, they should have. Okay, thank you. That does not help us at all. But I don't know why I should have expected anything different from you. This district had been the pride of Canabris until recently. Perhaps it's a blessing that I can't see what has become of it. Oh, interesting. This is clearly an area she's familiar with, but we can't actually ask her about it. And yeah, she is currently sitting at Tier 2. Because of that misadventure with the frozen cellar. So she has to be our priority for any healing items we find. Though if we can get our hands on an item of remove... Oh. Come out of there, you sniveling cowards! We'll gut you in the name of Baphomet! Oh, well that was... quick. Hello, the tower! Magistrate Peli Vasili. Someone Freyden knows, perhaps? Halt! Who goes there? I'm warning you, we're ready to shoot. The portly gray-haired man with a crossbow in his hands is shouting at you from the window. You see a few more people huddled behind him, clearly civilians, but all likewise armed with crossbows. Who might you be? Friends or cultists? Magistrate Vasili, sir! Freda is walking hurriedly toward the town hall, shaking the scroll in her hand. I have here an urgent report on the misuse of funds, embezzlement, negligence, and other crimes that took place at the theater. Inspector Linsdotten? Dumbfounded, the man stares at Freda, first through his glasses, then through a spyglass. You're alive, and you even brought the report? My. It is my pleasure to serve the city, the Queen, and Abadar. Freda bows with dignity, a proud smile on her mutilated face. The magistrate lowers a basket on a rope from the window, and Freda puts the scroll inside it. He pulls the basket back up, skims the scroll, and shakes his head in amazement. It boggles the mind. You are an example to us all. Once Her Majesty has driven all of this horned rabble out of the city and we have returned to normality, I will see to it that you receive a letter of commendation. No, I believe a feat such as this is worthy of a medal. Wow, so I guess Freda really wasn't wasting her time. Good for her. So you're the local magistrate? What a preposterous question. Can't you see that you're speaking to the legitimate authorities? Magistrate Peli Vasili, at your service. The man looks down at you proudly. This is the town hall, you know, not some roadside watering hole. You won't find any old rabble here. Right, of course, but what are you still doing here? We're holding down the fort, to the best of our abilities. The gods have so far been kind enough to spare us from any demons, but we have had some cultists trying to get in. We gave them a few bolts for their trouble, but those sly miscreants could return at any moment. Fortunately, we have prepared ourselves accordingly. The magistrate nods at the barricaded doors. Before you make any requests, no, we are not accepting refugees. We couldn't, even if we wanted to. As you can see, the entrance is blocked to the point where no one can enter or leave without the help of a construction crew. If you require assistance, ask the Inquisitors. We saw their unit walk past our window yesterday. No point in asking us. Very well. What news have you of the city? Terrible, but you knew that already. But if you want to hear some city gossip, the bureaucrat chuckles. Word has it that one highborn gentleman, I won't name names, but his is certainly known to all. Anyway, he threw a city day party that was so wild he actually missed the demon invasion. Can you imagine? Waking up after a drinking session, not knowing what's occurred, and wondering if your spree from the night before is the reason why the city now lies in ruins? No, of course I can't imagine that. Because it's absurd, it would never happen. Who could possibly be so self-absorbed as to miss an entire demonic invasion? Can you spare any supplies? Well, truth be told, our own supplies are running rather low. But out of respect for Inspector Linsdotten's great feat, we will share. Here is everything we can give for free. If you need anything else, I'm afraid you'll have to pay up. I'm sure you understand. You know what? That's actually fine. We can put this stuff to very good use. Ooh, especially that potion. I think we can use that to completely cure an eye, since she's only at tier 1 right now. Let's see what else he's got. Alright, let's take a look at what you brought us. The magistrate brings out a basket on a long rope. Okay, let's have a look at the highlights here. We've got a wide assortment of halfway decent weapons, but nothing at a glance is really catching my eye. I'm not seeing anything that's really geared towards our particular loadouts. No scimitars, no rapiers, no slings, though we do have hand axes. Okay, here we go. Here's some stuff we might actually be able to use. Higher end armors, +1. Ooh, +1 shields. Yeah, this is stuff we might actually try to spring for. The +1 buckler for Brown. The +1 heavy shield for Kanos. Various stat boosting items. Nothing we can afford there, though the Ring of Protection +1 is a maybe. Ooh, Potion of Remove Disease. That's pricey, but if we can get that, that would actually make things much easier. Oh wait, he's got a Scroll of Remove Disease, which is half the cost. Okay, if we can swing that, we could immediately cure Freyda, even though she's tier 2. And we could use that potion to heal an eye. Alright, folks, let's hit the pause button real quick. I will shuffle some goods around, and hopefully we can pick ourselves up something nice. We'll be right back. And we are back. Sadly, it turns out that the magistrate offers reduced rates, much like our friend down in the caves. Though at the very least, he accepted a much wider array of goods and he offered slightly better percentages. So we were able to raise a few hundred gold, but most of that went towards purchasing this scroll, since of course we want to keep poor Freyda alive. Aside from that, we only have about, a little shy 400 left. But I'm sure we'll find more. That said... Now that's what I call performing one's duty adequately. There is a vigor in Freda's voice, as if she's gained a second wind from her success. 50 years of service, and nothing could stop Freda Linsdotten from conducting the inspection and reporting the violations. Not rain or snow, not illness, not even a demon invasion. That's right. Great, and here's your reward, Freda. This should take good care of you. You shouldn't have spent something like this on me. Her voice sounds a lot more energetic. Her sickness is gone. Huzzah! Another obstacle overcome. Oh, and look at that. We can ask her about the quarter now. If I understand correctly where we are, the town hall should be somewhere close by. East of here is a watchtower. It's possible that you will find aid there, or at least some equipment. There used to be a grand estate to the northwest, but I imagine it was the first to fall victim to looters. There's something else. An alchemist shop to the northeast. I'm sure you could pick up a number of useful potions there. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, that is a lot for us to work with. I imagine the estate is general gold and valuables, plus bandits. Watchtower might be inquisitors? The alchemist shop is likely to have useful goods, but probably a very tough fight as well. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we can't completely cure her with a potion of restoration. Alright, fair enough. One sick person is still an improvement over two. The Moneybags Quarter. Haven't been here in a while. Brody presses his lips into a line. Not to gloat at someone else's misfortune or anything, but it warms my heart to see their mansions burning. They bury their dearest cousins in silks and gold, but they can't spare a few coppers to pay an honest gravedigger for his work. Skinflints. So what do you know about this place? Well, what's there to know? It's where all the rich folks used to live their cushy lives. You can sense the hostility in his voice. As for me, I didn't come here too often unless I had business with the town hall. I'd stop by the bakery sometimes, buy some cream rolls for the kids on special occasions. Oh, I hope our good baker's alive still, and the fires have spared his shop. Right, okay, well, I'll talk to you later, Brody. Langrat? It seems like only yesterday that I walked these streets with my friends, laughing away. And now the city's in ruins, and my friends are dead. I don't want to believe it. I can't. So you know people here? I do, yes. I don't know if any of them survived, though. My old friend, White's Tamil, lives in a house behind the town hall. Yes, and there's also the house of Reverend Draley, renowned patron of the arts. It's near the stables. Okay. House behind town hall. House near the stables. It could be worth our time to track down the people that Langrat knows. They might be willing to help provide us with supplies or other support. If they still live, please kindly send them my regards. Yeah, we'll do that. And Bamir. Look at these palaces. Some people are living it up. Well, not anymore, I guess, but they used to, huh? Just look around. Bamir, why are you so nervous about the Inquisitors? Who isn't? You must be thinking I'm hiding something. Maybe I caused some trouble in the past, stole something from somebody, or took the goddess's name in vain when I was hammered. Not by a long shot. Clean as a whistle, I am. But it's all the same to those hounds. If they don't like your sorry mug, up on the bonfire you go. So I try not to catch their eye. And you should do likewise. Yeah, that's fair. I'm still pretty sure that Bamir is secretly a thief, though. His stealth and trickery scores, his mastery of scouting, and his familiarity with the back alleys of the city. But it's fine. We'll just pretend we don't know. Man, we could use some rest. But if we rest, it'll push our corruption over. Not to mention Anai is sick, but we do still have this potion of restoration, which would help with that. I really wish we could find a safe place. Resetting our corruption would be very useful about now. We don't know what sort of challenges we're up against here, so let's at least do some scouting. We will have to retreat and rest at some point, but if there are some easier fights or obstacles that we can take care of first, then we will do what we can. I think that's the watchtower. Hi there. Nope. Come this way. Thank you. Alright, so we've got some low-end cultists here. At least 2. Likely more just out of sight, but cultists we can handle. We haven't had any fights today. Let's see what we're working with.
Here we go again. We should move.
Okay. We've actually still got most of our slots. Yeah, let's do this.
I got this.
Try to hit our carnage quota for the episode. Okay, let's create a wall until we know what else we're dealing with.
You or me?
Ooh, nice. Nice hit, Record. And I guess this is it. Oh, scratch that. We've got a wizard up top. That makes slightly more sense. We'll dogpile the bully. And sick Gaia on the wizard. The wizard hasn't gone yet, so Record could still get a sneak attack in. Yeah. Very nice. He's still going to get one spell off, but I think we're good.
Don't hold back!
Oh, yeah, especially if he burns his one cast on a defensive spell.
Damn you!
Bully's a bigger threat. Sorry, Gaia, but good job. Let's keep hammering on that bully.
You're going down!
Actually, let's get one other person on the wizard. Just for those flank and sneak attack bonuses. Oof. Thanos is hurting. Wizard is out. And the bully is down. Okay, that wasn't too bad, all things considered. That'll have to do for now. I'd like to save that last charge for an emergency. Or until we find a replacement. And not much on loot, though that is more stuff we can trade with the Magistrate. Oh, yep, and that's the tower. Which might be the Inquisitors, or it could just be like a storeroom or something. Though we're not going to head in right now. We're pretty late in the episode. And there could be a fight in there. Let's get a gander a little further down the street. We can actually see a dead Dretch over there, which isn't a good sign. I mean, it's a good sign in that someone killed the Dretch, but it also implies we might be heading into more dangerous territory. Cultist bully. 2 cultist bullies and a container. Okay, okay. Wow, okay, yeah, this is another fairly sizable map. We've barely done like an 1/8 of it down here. So, yes, I think this is a good place to call it. I'd say we've still got a couple of fights in us. It just would take longer than we have left today. But, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll take stock of our current resources. Maybe run back to the Magistrate, dump this other vendor trash we just picked up. And we will pick up here next time, as we explore the tower and bully those bullies. See you then! Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, you can find out more about the game and its DLC on the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things, or maybe even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the Nexus GG page. Links are in the description.
Here we go again.